Good morning, beach bums. Welcome back to the beach. I have not been on the beach in a hot minute. It's been a while. Feels good to be back out here, but it is cold. It's January. This is it's the end of January, but this is the absolute worst time for surf fishing in our area. So I'm not even fishing today, but I've got some work that I need to do. I need to collect some bait. They freeze pretty well. I'm going to show you guys one of the absolute best baits, probably the best bait for surf fishing, period, especially in the winter time when it gets tough. You need to be using these if you're not already. A lot of the fishing community will probably get mad at me for divulging some of this information, because this is like top secret, locals only for a long time, or unless you were in the know, people didn't have information on this particular bait. So I'm going to get started. I'm going to see if I can collect some. I'll show it to you. We're going to talk about it today, and I'm going to show you how I preserve it and hang on to them for future fishing trips. But it's looking pretty out here. We've had a north wind. It's flat calm. It's cold. We're post frontal. This is not the time to be out here surf fishing. So we're just going to use our time wisely today, and after I try to collect some bait, hopefully I can get some. We're going to hit some other beaches and do a little bit of scouting just to kind of see what's going on out here for some future fishing trips. But I'm going to set the camera down and go to the GoPro and see if we can get some of these juicy, delicious baits. Okay, so this is their poop, those little black pellets, and they stack up. They make these lines on the beach from the tide lines. You can see it right here, all that. So that's sign number one. That's clue number one when you're looking for these baits. You want to make sure you got plenty of poop on the beach. Got my waders on, got my Frog Tog waders on, getting in the water. Lots of poop around. Okay, so out here, you may not be able to see it because the water's a little dingy, but there's a mound right here. It's like a hole. There's a few of them. One here, one here. There's several of them. And we're just gonna pump, try to not lose my net. There's 1, 2, and 3. Didn't see any of that one. It's good to pump a few times because they can be at different depths. They're not always in every hole. There goes one. Try to bury back down. There we go. We got our first one, and I believe it's a male, and we'll show you why. Pretty creepy, crawly little guy there. That's actually a big guy in the net. But let's show it to you. We got bait number one. Oh, look, check this out. Got a stingray. Look at there. It's real shallow. Hey buddy, there's some life. Probably eating on some of these guys. So this is a ghost shrimp, and I believe this is a male. You see that giant claw there? He's real sluggish. He's still alive, but real sluggish. You can see that one big claw, which those will pinch you. And it's interesting, they actually look different inshore than they do out here on the Gulf side. You run into different ones, but that is a ghost shrimp, is what we call them. If you are in Australia or other parts of the country, they call them different things. I think in Australia they call them yabbies. I don't know why, but very different. They're very soft. It's a very soft creature. So when we're rigging these, I typically use something called Miracle Thread, which is some stuff that we order. We actually sell it in our store at Beach Bum Outdoors. And it's like elastic that you find in your sock almost, and you wrap it around the bait on the hook to secure it. But they've got these flaps right here. That's how they swim a little bit. They're very slow, but they dig down in the sand. They make those mounds. They make like tunnel systems underneath the sand, kind of like ants almost. So they may not be directly under the mound. They could be anywhere out there, but the mounds kind of give you a clue. I dropped him in the sand. But that is ghost shrimp number 1. We'll put him in the cooler. We'll get him in there in the water. We'll go ahead and pump some aeration. I'm not going to keep these guys alive beyond today, and he's still kicking, but he's not very lively. It's cold. I might have killed him there, I don't know, but we're going to give him a little bit of aeration. Oh, he's still alive. He's crawling around in there. Look at him. There he is right there in the sunlight, crawling. Yeah, there he goes. He's alive. Okay, what we're using, this is a Ghost Shrimp Pump. Tony Fagioni at Fish Gum actually gave me this one, but there's several different kinds. I actually have a PVC Ghost Shrimp pump as well. These work fine too. The aluminum tend to hold up a little bit better. We sell these at Beach Bum Outdoors. You can pick these up online at beachbumoutdoors.com or at our store. And you cannot get this bait anywhere. Like, you can't go to a tackle store and buy this bait. If you want to use it, you've got to collect it yourself. So you got to use a Ghost Shrimp pump and utilize it the way that I've just been doing it here. All right, let's see if we can get some more. Let's see if we can find a female, maybe with some eggs. They're vibrant orange. I'll try to show that to you, which is important when we're talking about pompano fishing and a lot of surf fishing. That's why we use a lot of oranges, that and sand fleas. But ghost shrimp is probably the most dominant bait in the surf. That's probably what most species of fish are actually out here feeding on. So let's go see if we can find some more. So I've just got my little net, like little kitty net, and then my pump here. Here's 2 mounds together. I don't know if you can see that right there. There's 2. I like that because I feel like that just gives you better odds. Three pumps and nothing on the double mound there. So what this pump does, it sucks sand into the pump. You blow it back out. You can use, there are effective ways. Some people have rigged up nets on floats where you pump this sand into that. That way you're not hunting for these ghost shrimp. Once they are dispelled from the pump, you're just pumping it right into the net, which is very effective. I don't have that system rigged up. If you follow my channel, you know I typically like to do things the hard way. So I've pumped several mounds and I've only found so far 1 ghost shrimp. They're not always stacked up in here. So if I'm pumping a lot, I just like to shift. I like to move. So water's flowing pretty good over here, which that can make it kind of difficult if you're not pumping into a net like me, because they will quickly get swept away in the current. Oh, there's one. We pumped this one out and he was trying to bury back down. He or she. Okay, we got another one. Right here. This one's a little smaller. Let's see if you can see that. Right there, but that works just as well. Got tiny little claws. Such a wicked looking bait. They are weird little creatures. Most people probably don't even realize that these little guys are crawling around underneath their feet. Ghost shrimp number 2. This one's a little bit smaller. And these baits can be found out in the surf year round. They are here summertime, whatever, but in the winter time, I don't know why, but they seem to be a little bit more prevalent. I don't know if that's because there's less fish out here feeding on them, or if they like the cooler temperatures, or if there's just less activity because there's less, you know, in the summertime there's more people out here swimming and playing in the water. Maybe they don't like that. Maybe they just go a little bit deeper. I'm not sure. They're still there, and I pump them in the summertime just as well, but there's just a lot more in the wintertime. So people probably don't even know that they're stepping all on these creepy crawly little things out here in the sand, just out in the water. If you're pumping them Gulf side like this, not bay side, but Gulf side, you've got to have a relatively clear, calm day. It's better closer to low tide to come out and pump these, which we have like a neap tide that's low this week, so you can basically during those times come out anytime. So we're closer to a low tide type situation. Water's not super clean. We have had a lot of rain, but as long as you're closer to that low tide and you're only dealing in inches of water, you can usually still see. But if it's rough out here, if you have a lot of waves and stuff, it's dirty and it's very difficult. You just can't really pump and get the shrimp. It's just kind of hard. So you have to go bayside and find mounds over there. All right, let's see if we can find some more. There we go. There's one with some eggs, bright orange. Hopefully you can see that in the water right there. Floating around, it's in my shadow right there. Well, you're gonna scoop this one up. That's a good one right there. Check this out. Now, regulations in some areas will only allow you to keep so many of these. And what I don't know, I'm not sure if these are the female with the eggs. I don't know. The orange. So a lot of places, I don't know if they'll let you keep these. Just check your regulations depending on where you are. There are no regulations in the state of Alabama on ghost shrimp, so you can keep whatever. So we're going to throw this one in there, and this is great bait because it has that natural orange color, which these fish out here are looking for that. Look how cool this one is. Pretty neat. Got the orange coloration on it, and just a nice specimen right there. It's almost like an Easter egg hunt out here, pumping the holes, looking for these guys, hoping that one pops out that you can get it. It can be kind of fun collecting these. It can be a lot of work too. It's a little strenuous pumping. The pump, it's like starting up a lawnmower over and over again. It kind of starts to hurt your hip and obliques, but nice little workout. If you've got kids and you're at the beach and you do get conditions that are conducive for coming out here and doing this while you're here on your beach stay, it's a fun thing to get your kids to do. Kids love it. If you can pick up a ghost shrimp pump, find the mounds, help them do it a couple of times, let them figure it out. It will keep them busy. When I was guiding and we had the right conditions, dude, letting kids pump ghost shrimp is the best. I have not let Annalise do it yet. That's my daughter. I need to get her out here this summer and get her pumping some ghost shrimp. She would absolutely love it. So pretty fun thing, fun family activity, and you're collecting bait for free, only the cost of the pump. Okay, we got plenty of mounds here. Just need them to start producing a little bit better. We're probably not going to keep this one, but that one did have one in it. It is tiny, like a little baby one. Can't even pick it up. Look how tiny that one is. I mean, that one is itty bitty. We're gonna let that one go. Won't really be able to rig that one up, so small. There's also these worm deals, and honestly, I am not sure what they are. I don't know if these are in fact bloodworms, but you see that guy? I think they may be. When I'm out here pumping, I see several of them, which is a very interesting tidbit of biology. I don't know exactly what species this is, but can you see that right there? Whoop. Right on the netting. I don't know that bloodworms are around here, Honestly, I'm sure fish eat whatever this is. There's tons of them in the sand. If they are bloodworms, there might have been a tiny little sand flea in there too. If they are bloodworms, that's a very popular bait, but I don't know how you would rig one up that's that tiny, which is mostly what I see out here. Oh, first pump on that one. Came right on out. There we go. We're rocking and rolling now. Getting several. Just such a wicked, strange creature. It's like an alien. I don't even know how to describe them. But fish love them. We got on a roll on my last pump outing, and they're starting to stack up in here. See, we got several in here. And look how weird they are. Cannot get over. They're such a weird alien creature. Look at that. All swimming around below your feet at the beach. All right, these little jokers actually freeze pretty well. And the way I freeze them, I just use little freezer bags, and I just drop them straight in the bag. You don't have to do anything fancy. I divide them up by dozens. So it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there we go. We got a dozen, and I'll just kind of spread them out about like that. Make sure all the air is out of the bag. You don't have to put any water in here or anything, and they freeze very nice. I have not noticed a difference in the performance of these baits frozen versus alive. They have so much juice, so much scent, and they don't lose any of that with the freezing, that they actually work really well. They don't stay on the hook any better or any worse. You already have a difficult time keeping them on the hook, so that's why you want to use that miracle thread anytime you're using these. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And they've already been pooping all in here. They don't keep alive very well. You can't keep them alive for very long, like more than 12 hours, and they get so nasty, and the water gets so nasty, they smell awful. I would not recommend trying to keep these overnight alive unless you have a better system. But because they freeze very well and don't lose their effectiveness, I'd say just freeze them, even if you're going to use them the next day, and they'll work just as good, I promise. And 9. I should have got a few more. I didn't count them while I was out there. I'm 3 short of 3 dozen. We'll get those in the freezer. Well, thanks for hanging out with me on today's video. We're stocked up just a little bit on ghost shrimp for a couple of fishing trips. I don't use very many of them. You can even cut them in half and not use the whole thing, so that way you're salvaging your bait. They're not very easy to get. You got to put some work in, and you got to have the right conditions. So they definitely come at a premium, but they work. If you've got fish around, they find this bait. It is, I've always said, it's almost like cheating. It's just the absolute best bait. You can use it for sheep's head fishing. We're getting into springtime. This is a great sheep's head bait. As long as you don't have a lot of other fish around, you could hammer sheep's head with this. Whiting, pompano, black drum, redfish, all of those fish swimming around in the surf definitely eat these things. So if you haven't already tried it, pick you up a ghost shrimp pump. I'll post a link in the description below. Go pump you some ghost shrimp. It can be fun for the family too. That way you get some good, cheap, inexpensive baits that work incredibly well. If you did enjoy this video, if you got some value out of it, please give it a big thumbs up. Also hit that subscribe button. Do post plenty of fishing videos for your enjoyment. And as always, you stay bummy.